Former South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh detailed drug abuse today in the murder trial against him. Murdaugh, he shook many of us Thursday by taking the stand in his own defense. He's pleaded not guilty to killing his wife and his son in June of 2021. And this morning, we're joined by criminal defense attorney Rachel Fiset of ZFZ Law. She joins us now with some legal analysis and reaction to some other cases. We've got Harvey Weinstein, Alec Baldwin, lots happening in the courts. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to have you here. I want to ask you, is it rare for murder suspects to testify in their own trial? And do you think that this could help him or potentially hurt him?
It is rare for murder suspects or really criminal defendants in general to testify in their cases against them. And the reason that it's rare or potentially incredibly dangerous for their case is that they can incriminate themselves. And so they risk either incriminating themselves or lying if they have indeed committed the crime that they're charged of committing. And so many people sidestep having the defendant on the stand. You can face perjury charges for lying. Often they just get themselves into more trouble than not. However, in a case like this, where he is charged with a double homicide, I think he had no other option in his mind but to attempt to defend himself, even if his defense gets him in trouble for a litany of other crimes that he's also been accused of. But I think this is such a massive crime, and he is a lawyer, and he's thinking that he can do a better job probably than his lawyers. So, and in watching what you have here, you have a little bit of a battle of lawyers between Alex Murdaugh and the prosecution, and it's very interesting.
You were talking about him potentially lying, but he did admit that he lied about his alibi. Do you think that his testimony is landing well with the jury? Could that kind of be a mea culpa that might help prove his case?
At this point, I think he had no other option than to admit he was at the kennels close in time to the murder, which for years since the murder, he has denied. So he's denied it multiple times to state investigators. And then I think the evidence was mounting so much that he had to make that admission because that lie itself may have gotten him convicted. So again, I think we have a last-ditch effort to try to make it right. So he came in and he absolved himself of the lie, said he was highly on drugs and had paranoia.
That opioid addiction.
Why he had made this lie. Yeah.
I want to switch gears just a little bit while we still have some time and talk about former Hollywood kingmaker Harvey Weinstein. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison for rape in Los Angeles, but he's already been serving that 23-year sentence in New York. How will this work? Will he serve them concurrently, or will he have to serve that first sentence in New York, and then I guess at that time he'll be 93 years old and potentially transferred then to California?
That's the idea, yes. So he will first serve his sentence in New York, finish out the term. He may get out a little early, as defendants tend to do. And then from prison in New York, he should be brought to Los Angeles to finish out his sentence here. So what this looks like to me is a life sentence.
It absolutely seems like that. And also happening in the courts, we mentioned Alec Baldwin, the actor. He had deflected blame for the fatal film set shooting in that Rust movie that's actually about to start shooting again. Was it a good idea, do you think, in the beginning, for him to be on social media, be so public about his defense? And what are your thoughts now that one of those charges has been downgraded?
I think the downgrade was an enormous win for him. That was a 5-year upgrade that they had included, and now that puts his max sentence around 18 months. So that downgrade is huge for him, a big win for his team. As to the social media and the discussions in advance, I would never really advise a client to do that. I think that what he has said through those interviews and what the evidence is showing, according to the prosecution, is in contrast. So that's going to hurt him later when they're testing his credibility on these issues. But again, you have a celebrity here, and he also wanted to help himself and thought that he could do a good job reaching out to the public. So
Right.
that is
We know that
likely why
he's
he
waived
did
his
it.
first court appearance that was scheduled for today, but that armorer will be in court. Hannah Gutierrez Reed, thank you for being here with us and helping us break down all of this legal jargon that's happening. Thanks for putting it in layman's terms for us. Criminal defense attorney Rachel Fiset, we appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.